Hey there, and welcome back to the Train of Thought, an educational Monster Train series where we talk for a minute about some other games, actually. This is not the only card game I happen to play. Right now, I'm spending a lot of time on Griftlands and enjoying it a hell of a lot, quite frankly. It's been really good. It's a very different pace from what I get in Monster Train. Runs are significantly longer in general. It has two decks. If you haven't tried it, you have a negotiation deck and you've got a combat deck. And it's very story driven and there's quests and things like that. It's reminiscent of Slay the Spire a lot more than Monster Train is. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've been doing some achievement hunting in there, trying to get some of those runs done. They're very tough, much harder achievements than any that I did in Monster Train or Slay the Spire. So it's kind of interesting. I've been having a lot great time with it. I don't expect that I'm going to make any videos for it or anything because really my opinion and kind of what I want to do for this channel in general is I only want to do things that I feel like I'm really good at because frankly, I don't think I'm nearly as entertaining as some other folks out there. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it does mean that the content I'm bringing and I think the value that I add to the conversation about a game is when I'm really good at it, right? I think the educational kind of analytical thought process behind how I'm making decisions and things is much more interesting than anything else I could offer. There's tons of folks out there who are funny and they do their own thing, and that's great, and I'm glad they're having a lot of success. And frankly, I'm not trying to be successful at all. I'm just trying to record these things because people asked me to. So I think it's going to be a little bit different for me. I'm just going to focus on Monster Train. If I end up getting really, really good at Griftlands and I'm just like slamming out max level runs on Prestige 7 or something and so forth, maybe I'll consider it then. Maybe if I have something interesting to afford and like strategies or whatever, then I'll consider it. But for now, we'll just keep the channel small. I got like 20 people watching, which is, more than I could ever ask for. So yeah, we'll just stick to it as is, frankly. But, that said, the reason I really wanted to bring it up is that the game is awesome. Griftlands, I'm really enjoying it. It's been a breath of fresh air in the realm of kind of roguelike deck builders. And I think that if you're looking for something different, it's a slam dunk pick, frankly. If you're even remotely interested in this genre, and if you frankly are watching these videos, you should have a lot of value to get out of Griftlands. So, highly recommend checking out. It came out of early access very recently, and yeah, totally recommend. So that's about as much as I'm going to say there. If you have any opinions on Griftlands, kind of your thoughts on it, let me know. I'm always interested in chatting about that kind of stuff. To get back to this episode, however, let me just kind of briefly remind folks about what we're doing here. The series, The Train of Thought, is a constructed Monster Train series. What that means is I have a mod, the Stoker Deck Editor, lets me construct and build runs. I haven't done this yet. I will at some point. Introduce it just in case this is your first episode. And the other part of this series that I really want to kind of be important is I want to take really difficult seeds, so like challenge runs that people have that are just crazy out of control strong, tough to win, and I want to try to approach them analytically, record those, and put those up and see how we do. So, of course, as always, if you have some run that you've been doing recently that's just insanely difficult, create a challenge out of it. Show me what it is. Say it in a comment. Message me, whatever, and yeah, I'll run it and we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty stoked for that. So yeah, that's kind of the other part of this, and yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, last run, let's see, we had a very solid Rector run where we started out with melting. I played Reform Rector. All right, I usually try to avoid this in most runs just because it's very intense and thought provoking, which is fun, right, as a player, but reasoning through decisions is very difficult. You have to think multiple turns ahead. It's very advanced, frankly, and it's winnable. It's very good. Like, obviously, we won that episode. We're currently up to a 10-0 win streak on this series, which is, great. I'm glad to see it. But yeah, it required thinking ahead a lot, and it was pretty tough to get there. The other parts of that run that really mattered where we had like 3 Wickless Barons with multi-strike 3 or something crazy. It was pretty fun. They were just getting reformed every turn and blowing stuff away, so that was good. But this time around, if we're moving on to the next champion, we're going to In my opinion, the strongest champion in the game by a landslide, a little fade. So we've already hit on one of the quote unquote S tier champions when we talked about Primordium, but Little Fate is even stronger, and she's absolutely S tier, right? And if just as a reminder of what that ranking system is even talking about, S tier essentially means you cannot lose, in my opinion. That just seeing this champion as your champion is enough to confidently say you win the game, assuming you play correctly. And, if you're a decent enough player at Covenant 25, then you should be playing correctly, and you will easily just slam out a victory on Little Fade, which is, fantastic. Obviously the other end of that spectrum is the D tier, where you just throw away your champion because it's bad and you need all your other stuff to carry you pretty hard. So that's kind of the scale there. Little Fade's at the top of the bar. It feels great. I pretty much always love seeing her. Her strategy, and frankly, there's so many good things here. We talked a little bit in the last episode about what Melting gained as a clan from the DLC, which is a lot. The benefit of being able to reform and play top floor because there's no more days up there, the benefit of Bounty Stalker actually being in banners, and then the benefit of Hallowed Halls being added to the game. And also, infusions in general. That Melting is in an extremely good place right now. I would argue, in my opinion, it's the strongest clan. I feel very confident in any run seeing a Melting run, primary or secondary, frankly. And Little Fade, even before the DLC, I felt was a slam dunk, a win, just always a win. And she's even gotten nerfed recently, and I still just think that the nerf changed nothing, frankly. She's so strong, I just don't care. Her previous numbers were way out of control. Her current numbers are still way out of control. If they want to rein her in anymore, they're going to need to do more than what they did, frankly. So let's talk left to right because there's nothing really special here that we need to think about. There's nothing weird. And we'll start with Firelight. Firelight is the strongest path, frankly. It is a path that is one dimensional in the sense of it has one game plan and it does its game plan extremely well. You really don't have to think a lot about basically anything else. You just kind of play into Firelight. You build up many, many hits on your floor so that the key is not the strength of your units, right? It's how many hits they have because of the way her scaling works. If you can read it here, on Extinguish, she gives stats and burnout to a floor, and the stats just kind of go up on every, death. So you're looking for a way to bring her back every turn. You want to get her killed every turn, and you basically just use her to hyperscale whatever's behind you. So as you can see with like plus 20 attack on the top level, basically that just represents you want like 7 hits. So things like space are really valuable with her because you can just, cram more units in. Frankly, if you start with a draft in your beginning cards, your starter set, and you get shown Firelight, that's a win out of the gate, right? You can just dupe the draft as many times as you can, give it some base stats like a plus 25 HP or whatever. And from there, you just make a bunch of them, slam them all onto a floor, and she just kills everything with them. That is, a simple path. Obviously, you can infuse the draft into a banner unit now, give it multi-strike, give it burnout, set it up to perfectly kind of synchronize with Firelight. And it could be a sweeper, it could be a multi-striker like Animus of Will, it could be a small thing, like, frankly, you can do this with totems or tombs or whatever. It doesn't even matter, right? You just need a vessel for the stats. My personal favorite here is Votivary. You can get a really good battle Votivary out of this because you stick it right behind Firelight. If Votivary ever dies, it has Endless, so it immediately comes back and it carries its stats over. So you just do like multi-strike 3 Votivary or something and it just goes out of control. I do recommend in general when playing Firelight, the unit directly behind Firelight should always have a lot of HP. So like this would be a good example, like a draft that has a plus 25 in it, or even a draft with a large stone. Something like that. You want something that's not going to get overrun, right? Because your dudes do need to take a swing. Large stone's obviously a risk because it reduces the number of hits on your floor, but it is a lot of value on something with multi-strike, so it usually works out fine. As long as you have something small behind it too. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do here, and it kind of takes over your run, right? It's so flexible, but One thing that's going to be important when talking about Little Fade is to understand how differently she plays. The reason she hasn't been nerfed nearly as much as she probably needs is because most players are very bad at playing her, right? The way you think about a run using Little Fade needs to be very different than the way you think about it with other champions. You're not strong in the early game. You're very weak, in fact, and you want to make sure you don't die. Whereas the other champions, more or less, they're going to be something you want to power up in the early game, right? You want to essentially try to get ahead with trials and infusions and things. With Little Fade, you want to play it cool on all of her paths, right? You want to play it cool and you want to backload your shard gain and you want to backload your strength because she will carry your run hard, but you need to get her to the point where she scales, right? And like rank 1, she's only giving +5 attack. It's not a lot. And your deck sucks at this point, right? You only have 5 primitive moles that you start with and then a bunch of trash in your deck. So you're probably going to miss reforms and generally your consistency is going to be bad. You can obviously make this up by going to magic shops, duping the molds, or freezing them, or giving them holdover. There's a lot of solutions. Even spell chain on your primitive molds can be pretty decent, right? Because then you can just leave in the purge copies and grab them when you need them. But definitely play it cool in the early game. It's easy to get yourself killed, and because of that situation, her win and play rates are actually really low, right? Her stats actually got much better in the DLC because of the buff to Eternal Flame, which we'll hit on next. So, Eternal Flame is the most straightforward path of Little Fade. I actually really hate this path because I hate the fact that it has endless. Endless means that when it dies, it comes back immediately. And players can bait themselves into letting it die a lot of times because number go up, big number make you feel good, and you have brain power and you go, oh yeah, big number. But the problem is she's actually taking up your draws, right? She dies, getting a hit in, which is fine. At least she does something, right? With the quick that they added in the DLC. And she gets a hit in, she dies, she goes back on top of your deck. She essentially represents -1 draw for as long as you're letting her die. And you can get baited into not drawing through your deck quick enough. The other problem is that primitive molds kind of become trash, right? Because you're not reforming Fade anymore because she's endless. So what are you doing with them? Now, people oftentimes, when I bring this up in discussions, they'll say, oh, you're reforming tombs and stuff. And it's like, primitive mold's a great starter. I'm not going to argue with that. But when you're not reforming Fade, it's much less great, right? You kind of just, okay, just slam this thing and reform, I don't know, whatever unit I happen to have. And depending on your composition, what you draft, what's available to you, what your clan is, you might not be reforming anything. And these just might be literally dead, right? Which feels bad. That's the main reason I have a problem with this. The other thing is that she plays the most obviously here, right? You just send her on the bottom floor to do some damage, do some hits here and there, and then eventually when Relentless is coming around, you drop her behind your beefy tank in the top floor or in the middle or wherever, and she just kind of punches for like 600 around, which is, big damage. It's winning, right? This thing is strong now. That has quick. So it's a good path, but I frankly am not very enthused about playing it. Usually it's good if you're playing with Umbra or clans that have like, self-contained strategies, right? Umbra is a good one because you can have a Gorge plan, right? And this Gorge plan can be doing its thing, like, I don't know, you have Alloyed Construct, and it hits like 3 times or whatever. You just slap her in the back, and she kind of just beats the crap out of whatever else is up there. And in the early rounds, she's, slamming things on the lower floors. She just kind of softens up waves, and she definitely kills heavies, 60 attack on the last scaling rank, so she gets to a point where she's slapping a 290 no problem after like by the time you're seeing the 290, right? It's on like wave 5 or whatever. So she's really good. This path is very strong. If you're just kind of coming into Exile melting for the first time and you want to have a kind of like a cool experience that just feels classic and you're not really worried about like how to play around the weirdness of Fade, Eternal Flame is the way to go. And frankly, Eternal Flame upped her win rates across the board substantially, right? Because people were splashing Eternal Flame 1 in with Firelight and Icarus and turning them into more classic champions. And the easier she gets to play, the more likely she is to get nerfed, is kind of the reality of it. So we'll see. I don't love this path. It's fine, but it doesn't really feel like the quote unquote Little Fade experience, in my opinion. The next path, Little Icarus, is awesome. This is bizarre because when you first look at it, you maybe don't appreciate how it behaves. It relies on a non obvious synergy. It's not clear the first time you're playing Monster Train that Spikes triggers Slay, and nothing on this card really tells you that it does. You kind of just look at this and you go, wow, this thing, they put spikes on a unit with 1 HP. What the hell, right? And the idea behind how this works is that it's permanent scaling with spikes and attack. The attack is less important, but the spikes are definitely important. You get it up to the point where it just kills heavies when they attack her. And as she dies and gets reformed with primitive mold, her HP goes up, right? You get 5 HP every reform. And anything you can do to give her temporary hit points in the form of like armor or actual HP, like Echo Infusion or whatever, it's huge value, right? This path excels in any clan combo that enables you to buff her up in HP. Also, just Awoken in general is busted with her because you have things like Bramble Lash, you have things like Cycle of Life, and then you also have Adaptive Mutation, where, I told you that attack scaling didn't really matter. Frankly, it matters a lot when you have Adaptive Mutation. You can turn her into like a 400 unit HP behemoth with 400 spikes that just murders everything, right? Like, she literally will never die unless she burns out, right? So this path is really difficult. Again, this plays into she requires a different play style. You're going to play it cool in the early game. You're going to take trials that only the ones that give you invasions and only if they make sense. You're going to value your Pyre HP highly. You're just going to try to get out of Rings 3 and basically get out of the early game without dying. This also gets heavily farmed. Little Fade in both the Firelight and Little Icarus paths get farmed pretty hard by Slay Gain Damage Shield enemies in the first ring of ring 1, right? It can happen that you get that one combat. It's a real tough fight, right? You never give them spikes, never give them anything that could make them difficult. Play it cool. You want to respect those guys a lot because they get damage shield off of Fade and then just destroy you, right? So yeah, it's also easy to get baited into bottom floor setups with Fade that are incorrect, right? Even Firelight, where you want her to die a bunch, it's very regularly, in the early game at least, better to play top floor still. It just works out that way. So Fade is extremely strong, and I'm usually fine. I can win with any of these 3 paths. So you have so much flexibility, right? You can kind of just be like, I'm going to play this time, or whatever. So she rocks, and we will now hop over to a run, and yeah, just have a freebie here, hopefully. It would be kind of hilarious if I tell you that she's S tier and then I just straight up lose with her, which would be funny. I've already actually won a run with her as the champion because I randomed into her in my intro to this series. So this is actually my second run with Fade, which is fun. So I'll never turn down a good Fade run. Let's hop in. Let's go to Melting, Exile for Fade, Random, and let's send it. Hope you're all doing well today. I've had a nice one. I'm actually working on a contract at work right now. I worked like 10 hours today. It's a weekend, so that kind of sucked. And, I don't mind because it means I get like Friday and Thursday off this week, which is nice. I get to duck out of some meetings, but yeah, it's tough. I guess it's nice because it's kind of just one-dimensional. I just do a thing and that's it. And I just stare at this contract and review things for 10 hours, but it can be very dry, right? So, all right, so this run, let's dig in. We have Exile Melting with default Hellhorned. We have Explosive Sigil Daedalus. We have Curse Fell, and we have Sap Seraph. We have a Draft Hornbreak Remnant Host start. This is nuts. If they show me Firelight, I win out the gate, right? This Remnant Host kind of weird, but the draft starter is insane. Anything with Firelight loves a good draft starter. Also, Hornbreak is good because you can kill your own units, and we also have Torch, which means we're good in the back lines, which is nice. Additionally, because we're in Hellhorned, We can actually play into armor if we get Fade on Icarus. We don't have any armor in our start, so I'm not leaning that way, but it is an option. I could theoretically do it, and you can also, of course, kill her with Torch or Hornbreak, and then resurrect her immediately with the reforms, and buff her up pretty quickly for relentless combats. I think the least exciting choice here is Eternal Flame, but yeah, we'll see. Now, before I click anything, Fade is one of the, I think it's the only champion in game right now where I think it is always correct to look at her in the Dark Forge before you pick a relic, right? And that's because her 3 paths are extremely different. You've got the Firelight Fade where she wants to die fast. You've got the Eternal Flame path where she wants to die, but she wants to play a more classic run that's similar to other champions. And then you've got Little Icarus, which wants to get HP, which contradicts with Firelight, right? Like, say I see, like, I don't know, Hammer Chestplates here is a good example. Plus 5 HP sounds nice, right? That's really good if I'm Little Icarus. It's really bad if I'm Little Fade on Firelight, and it's neutral-ish on the Eternal Flame, right? It's not great on Eternal Flame because you want her to die, live, and repeat constantly, but that's just one example. There's a lot of things like that, like Scorched Steel and other relics too. So let's look at the artifact first. They show me Firelight, so we win the game? Yeah. This is an unbelievably strong high roll with this start, so we click it. I'm not even going to discuss the other alternative here. We have drafts, we have a tomb. I can straight up put a tomb on the floor. It's a 1-space unit that just takes stats, and if it dies, it explodes into more 1-space units. I do have to be careful about overflowing my floor, though, because then I can't replay Fade. And now, let's do this. Gurg's Goad. This is perspective, right? But it means every single demon is now an excellent combo with Fade, so we take it. And we do not click this Horde, right? This is the bait here. I do not want a 9x2 in this combat. She won't kill it. And it'll run over our units and we'll die. Additionally, we just basically play it low key and hope for the best. We do have a lot of early temples. I hope we have some late temples too. We have a relic here, money, relic. We do have a ring 8 temple at least. We're going to look for some kind of a demon. Quite frankly, any demon that I can physically play. So the only ones that I don't want here are like Demon Fiend or Consumer of Crowns because they're expensive. And then we're going to put a draft in it, right? And then we're going to win by playing like 6 of them. Yeah? So yeah, let's not click this. We don't need it. We'll move on. I'm basically going to skip this trial. Yeah, okay. So this is the Apprentice's Light. These are the guys I warned you about. They're terrifying, right? You normally expect me to be very aggro here, right? I'm like, oh yeah, money, I can handle this. There are things that I could do here. I have horn breaks, I have torches. There's a lot of stuff I could do here. This trial's actually pretty okay. But these Apprentices of Light are horrifying. Because I can't put Fade in front, right? Because she gets chunked. I think I can take this trial in particular because of my Hornbreak, Remnant Host, Torch lineup, right? I have the ability to do this. There's basically no draw that kills me. Unless I miss, or I hit all my molds in the first 2 turns, right? And then I have to draw through. There's an argument to play it cool here, but I think that this one in particular is safe. And we do want to power up if possible, so there's that. Yeah, this is fine. I play top, we do this, and then I kill one of them, and this is a fine trade. Only 1 mold on turn 1 is good. If I can spread these out over multiple turns, I'll feel pretty comfortable here. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Okay, so that's good. I only draw 1. Very nice. I put this here. We feel pretty good. I am gonna play Reg on mid. This is awkward because it clutters the reform, but frankly, I don't mind. I could kill this Apprentice of Light if I double Dreg here, or double draft, rather. I think I won't. I don't want to put another one in. I just want to put it into kill range. of the top floor. Yeah? I'm going to take the money. Cool. And we leak, like, 2 damage. Fine. As long as I don't die. Okay. This is a rough draw, but it's okay. I'm basically just going to put my Ember into killing this next incoming floor. I do have to draw a mold next turn, which is good. I need to draw it alongside Hornbreak. Because this floor just burns out here, right? Yeah, this floor just straight up burns out, which is horrible. So not ideal. Okay, so I do see what I want to see here. We can do... It's unfortunate I hit this, right? I could pivot this floor? Does this win? Interesting, huh? I could abandon the top floor here and play bottom. Think about the math here. She goes up to... This thing takes you to 20 by 2. I put the host in. The host always goes down here, I think. This represents a lot. I actually think we're fine if I do this, right? Yeah, we just kill on this floor. And it's important that I don't kill this backline, right? Because otherwise... Fade does... Well, the burnout actually works in my favor. It doesn't matter. I have the end turn. Just let it go. This wins. So this is kind of rare, but this start is so strong here that I'm pretty confident in it. And I could take that trial and just take 2 for it, which is good. Which is good. Now, early Fade runs, you want something that extends burnout, right? It's tempting to take this explosive, but it clutters the reform pool, and it's not a great backline when I already have drafts. So don't really care. I'm going to take Whiplash because anything I can do to make sure my floor doesn't just die horribly is great. This is a good card here. We do that. Ooh, see, I could have taken a little Icarus here and been fine. I don't take any of these cards though. Like, Welder Helper is awesome, Fortify is fine, Ascend is good for disruption, but frankly, you're just looking to keep this deck small so I can hit these drafts ASAP, and so that my reform density is really high. The only things I care about are removing cards and drafting only the things that help me not die, which, you know, Whiplash is it. So I'm going to skip this. This is a very surprising skip, right? But I'm going to do it. And you're going to see kind of how I approach Fade because of this. I'm going to go to the right here. I just jumped really fast on that conversation, but I'm going to the right because I want a demon. And if I can freeze or hold over a... whatchamacallit, a reform, I feel pretty comfortable here because that basically means I won't die in rings 1 through 3. And as much as a Remnant Banner is good, there's a lot of good hits, right? You know, Paraffin Enforcer or whatever. Frankly, I have the Gurg's Goad. What could kill me here? If I saw... It's literally Consumer of Crowns Demon Fiend is the only thing that actually kills me here. You know, Alpha Fiend's not amazing, but I would take it. It'd be fine. It's big. It's big. Not great. I'm going to go right still. I think it's correct. Let's show me a decent banner. Okay, so it's just straight up Horned Warrior here. You know, Brandon Warrior is really good with the multi-strike, and he's going to get a lot of slays, which is cool. But, it could be really good. But frankly, Horned Warrior hits 3 times. He goes out of control on this. These are both extremely good demons to see here. So the question really comes down to, what do you all want to see? Do you want to see Brandon doing the rage stacking? Or do you want to see just big Horned Warrior energy? That's a good question, frankly. That is a good question. I don't know. I think Horned Warrior is objectively better just because it hits more times and the base number is bigger. But, and there's also, there's a risk of them dying, right? Like, draw order matters. If I put Draft inside of them, they have Burnout 1, which is spooky, right? It means that I'm basically relying on hitting the primitive molds in the right order, or they burn out too. But frankly, I don't really mind it too much. I think both of these lines are winning because they have multi-strike. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to pick Horned Warrior because I want to show you the strength here, right? And this is just the better unit for this choice. So we're very strong right now. I am going to re-roll this. because if they show me holdover, this is valuable, but freeze too. You just freeze one of these primitive molds at 0 cost, and then I dupe it whenever they give me the chance, basically. But there's no reason to take random -1s. I'm actually pretty likely to just buy 2 removals here if they don't show me holdover or frozen, right? If I get like, if this is double stack that I roll into, right? And so I'm just going to take 2 removals. And you may be like, wow, that's really weird. But the truth is deck consistency is the only thing that really matters here. And I already win dataless as long as I don't, you know, misdraw my primitive molds. So we'll reroll. Okay, double stack, which means I actually do, as I said, I'm just going to kick 2 train stewards here. Argument for kicking torches because they're not amazing, but it doesn't matter really. Yeah, I'm actually only going to kick 1 here because I have, you know, I sneak previewed upcoming. I'm going to go to this magic shop again, so I want to have at least enough money to do something. I really don't need to do that here, right? Let's see, unit draft means I get what, 10 gold at worst, so 185, 50 from the actual combats. That's 235. At 235, I could re-roll and have plenty. I mean, I could buy 1 removal now just to make this a little more comfortable. Yeah. And then still, even in the worst case, I have enough to re-roll and buy stuff. And then again, we just play it cool, right? Like, intrinsic does nothing here in this case. I could do this infusion now, but frankly, it's incorrect. I'll have opportunities to do so. Where are my dupes? Good question. 1 at the end, of course. That's a good removal dupe on ring 5, right, or ring 6, right before fell. That's nice. And then there's 1 here, another removal dupe right after Daedalus, huh? Interesting. The only downside to that is that I won't have the opportunity to upgrade my Horned Warrior at all if I go that route. Interesting. I would probably just skip that dupe then. That's cool. It's fine. I mean, we're gonna send it here. I just stay at 0. I don't even care. Cool. And we're crazy strong here. I will take... Interesting. This unit draft is tough. I also don't have any HP and I have a sweep dude. So I need to be careful not to just implode. Now, if she dies enough, she's applying HP to the floor. I need to be very choosy with my units, right? Because I would like to charge up my Horned Warrior and then reform it at least once. I don't need this trial. I need to play it cool here. This is an interesting one. If this were like, let's see, I don't even know their names, but the dude that's a shield or the Inquisitor man, you know, the big dude with a sword, I would be fine with this. But because it's sweep, I could just get swept out real easily, right? Yeah, I could just die by being too aggro here. And what do I need? I don't need anything. I already found the unit I want. Horned Warrior. Yeah, Horned Warrior. Infusion is draft, so who cares? Yeah, I don't need any of this stuff. We're just going to skip it, frankly, and play it super, super chill. Yeah, like with this start, I think we would have gotten there. The bottom floor setup is correct. Yeah. Yeah, bottom floor setup's correct. And then Warrior in the back clears up. I want him to have as much HP as possible. And then we just leave it. Cool. Okay, we reform, fade. Play it here. I'm going to Wicklash this dude, and then I'm going to kill the Collector. Okay, I mean, with this draw order, I could have taken this trial. But there was no reason to. It was just basically going to be 10 gold for me. Yeah, it's not good. You just don't even play a card here. Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason to play a card. Yeah, see, interesting. We have this situation here. And this does win, right? He only gets 1 hit in. Or it's actually 2 hits because of the +5, yeah. I'll play the Remnant Host as another scaling element, so this is good. We're okay. And again, you know, it's tempting to ping this foot soldier, but frankly, don't even risk it. You have the X. Yeah, I actually think we may have died or at least had a much harder time if I had not respected that trial. Another really good set of stuff. I'm going to take the drippings here because it's a one-time use, and I already have the Wicklash, and I don't need a third giraffe, frankly. There's no reason. I'm just going to dupe the Horned Warrior, right? Horned Warrior is just like a better draft in this deck at this point. And Hallow Drippings, I can send it very easily, and it does a lot of value for us. So, cool. Again, I don't need any of this stuff. It's fine. We skip it. There's an argument for branding, right? Just simply to give your second unit some temp HP, right? But the truth is, it's probably just going to burn out, right? I don't think it's worth it. Don't think it's worth it. 225, that's enough to go to this shop. Let's see what we hit. Double stack, at least I can't see it again. Okay, so interesting. I see Steelworker and Brandon Warrior. This is interesting because the Steelworker infusion into Horned Warrior. Horned Warrior already hits enough times, right? It's 3 hits. I dupe him once, and we have 6 hits on the floor, which is extremely good. And that's only with 1 space. So that's pretty good. The Steelworker guarantees I don't get swept out. And if I self-infuse means I'm getting a ton of armor, which is nice. And on the Divinity, I could set up top floor and it cancels out because I'd have 2 of them on the floor, right? So that is an option. I still probably take space and maybe set up mid floor anyway. You know, that's fine. The nice thing about space is I can do mid, but the top floor setup enables me to stick another draft in there, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. There's also the argument for double space if we hit. I think it's Steelworker for sure. Like right now, it just makes me invincible into these early combats, and it's a good infusion later if I decide to go that way. That route, rather. Here, I'm just going to send a reroll. I don't need this -1. You see how most of the times I'm not even playing energy, right? So it's like, whatever. Okay, again, another Eternal Stone. It's just Doom. It's just doomed. It's fine. I do need to make sure I take a temple early because the last one is only at ring 8, and that's not going to be soon enough. So I think I'll take my 25 shards now. I do need to decide what's going on here. Is it draft into Steelworker? Or draft into Horned Warrior? Or Steelworker into Horned Warrior? Steelworker into Horned Warrior is really good, and 3 hits is plenty. Starting with Burnout 1 is spooky too, right? Because if I set up mid on Divinity, he just burns out automatically, which is not ideal. So I think I just do Steelworker into Horned Warrior, and we're really happy with this, frankly. He has 3 hits before I even put an upgrade in, and this gives him durability. There is the argument of this being bad with the Fade, but I have Hornbreaks, right? So I can just +10 in piercing a Hornbreak, and it will always kill Fade, which is great news. I'm going to do this. I think this is absolutely correct. This is durability on my floor. Yeah. And then the drafts can kind of just chill. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'm happy with that. The +30 in the Hornbreak, frankly, pretty good. Honestly, I can go up high here. This 35 is really strong. This answers so many things. I'm going to go to 40 here. That's fine. I can do that. I feel really strong about this right now, so we'll do that. And I'll actually put a -1 in it while I'm here, because that's fine. I don't need it holdover. I actually, frankly, don't want it holdover. Yeah. This gives me a lot of good hits if I see an X5 here. No, I don't. And frankly, how much do I value this? I need to be able to re-roll this Merchant of Steel. I have 75 gold here. That puts me at, I get what, 50 from Daedalus, so 190, 265? 265, huh? Which means I already can do it. I don't, this is a bait. I need to value my HP because I am weaker right now. And this is a bad trade, right? 5 HP for 25 gold. That's never worth it. Just leave. As a dead event, sad. Buying removals is value, but I have a steel shop coming up. We're fine. We're just going to send it here. I'm not worried. Thank you, Gerg's Goad. Very cool. You know, if they show me Apex Imp, I'll skip it. I know you're like, what? But I will. It's just the bottom floor setup here? No, it's not. These guys run me over. Yeah. The mid floor is actually pretty good, right? Because it blows up. Yeah, the mid floor is good. And then I'll put the Wicklash here, and we'll feel pretty strong about that. Yeah, cool. Why did he take 3 damage? Oh, the spikes. I see, I see. Okay. I understand. Yeah, the spikes. Okay. So it's, what, 5, 5, and then 6 coming in. So I will... The most important unit is that dude. So I'll do this, and this is fine. It's actually good to kill this guy with a torch. It saves some HP on... Wait, how? The world? Does that work? Oh, because he... Oh, wow. I did a bad job there, huh? Kills himself on that. Interesting. That was actually a real bait of me, but I never get punished. Just never get punished, I guess. Interesting. I want to see what this looks like before I consider the hollow drippings. Yeah, so I'm going to just hollow drippings here. I think that's good. I need to think the math through, right? If I do this, I go to 10 HP, so it's 255. Right now it's 2, 3. I mean, he always takes 3 here anyway, right? It's 6, 5, 10, 10. Yeah, so don't click anything here, frankly. Just put 2 damage into Daedalus. Right? Because the fact that it's Explosive Sigil is the thing I wasn't thinking about in the previous turn. Yeah. Like he always takes this 3 because of the Explosive Sigil, so. Okay, that's a little spooky. We just kill this Hornbreak thing right here. And if I put the Remnant Host in... Do I want to do that? What do I draw? 1 Primitive Mold, huh? With 1 Primitive Mold, I just accept this hit. I'm going to kill one of these guys, and we're not playing another unit. Yep. Cool. We accept that. Yeah, I could have gotten away with it, right? Yeah, I could have gotten away with it, but it's fine. Here, I actually just spend this to kill her and bring her back. Like, immediate value on this Hornbreak. We just reform her again, and we feel really strong. Yeah. Yeah, cool. I mean, this easily kills Daedalus at this point. Yeah, she's even stacking armor. Okay, it's fine. We have 10 burnout here. I don't care. But being the player that I am, I will click Torch into Daedalus 3 times. Sure, why not? Cool, we're very strong here. Neat. Neat, the draft kind of immediately paying out a little bit on playing it on that floor. We're in good shape. We're in good shape. Endless Remnant Pact is really strong. It helps if I hit it on Fade, then I don't even have to worry about Reform. So we're going to click Remnant Pact. Honorable mention to Devourer of Death. It's a 1-space unit that explodes, which can be helpful, but it's not that. And I don't need Dark Deal here because I did not take Branded Warrior. So Remnant Pact is value add to the deck. Lady of the Reformed is exceptionally good because if you stick her in front of Horned Warrior, you basically guarantee that your floor never burns out. But I took enough cards that I don't feel too bad about this. This is an interesting choice. It's never Alpha Fiend or Wickless Tycoon here. I just don't think so. But Lady of the Reformed, basically you're saying your floor looks like what? Horned Warrior in the back, Lady in front, and then Little Fade. And that's not enough hits though, right? I have to have another one of these. I think I just straight up have to dupe him and be okay with it. The only thing is that I don't dupe him early, right? I want to go to the steel shops first, get some stats on him, and then I dupe him before Fell. The Lady is really good through the next 2 combats. I'm going to take her. I think she's really correct here. And we're going to take Draw, I believe. It's a tough call, right? It's never energy. I know it's wing, it's Curse Foul, but it's fine. I don't care. It's always space draw, but in what order? The space is for the mid-floor play on Divinity. That's critical. And The draw is going to be necessary just to get through my deck faster and actually see my molds and my answers. I'm going to take draw now. I could see an event that gives me space, but also I think it's going to be more important while my deck is thicker, right? I haven't removed much, only one Train Steward, so we're going to take draw now. There's always the consideration for double space top floor, double space bottom floor. It's really strong, but usually you need like immediate dupe value. Like that would be, I would take space right here if I were going to the right? Because then I would be duping this Horned Warrior 2 times, essentially. I still could do it, right? But I don't think it's going to be important. Go left here for this. Quick is an interesting choice, right? Let me think about it for a moment. It's one of those things where I want Fade dying beforehand, but Quick eventually... Quick gets in the way. I think Quick gets in the way. I don't need to put HP on him right now because I have the Lady in the mix. So I just kind of re-roll this and hope for something better. All right, multi-strike is good. Another hit is nice. And frankly, I just take the plus 25 here, right? The HP is an important one because you don't want to die. And with 2 of these on a floor, that's 8 hits. That's so enough. Yeah, this is plus 25 for sure. And this run is basically sealed at this point. What a good hit. Little Fade's going to fire light 2. And now I just remove cards, basically. I don't take anything here. I just need to make sure I hit enough. If I'm going to dupe it once, it's going to be here at ring... What is that? Right before fell, so ring 6. That takes me to 55. That's also the point where I toss Lady, I think. Because they'll be strong enough to stand on their own. Yeah. Cool. So that's good. I don't have enough for a removal, right? Yeah, sadly. Okay. So I take, what, the Relic in the middle here for 55. I dupe here for 80 or 70. I take the Relic here for 85 and then 15 from the Divine Temple. All right, so we get there. We get there. We just chill on shards right now, and we're strong. That hit on multi-strike plus 25 is perfect. This is interesting because it's actually pretty good. It's a good trial. It's just like 6 damage at worst, maybe. I could set a bottom and just let 7 damage go through, and I still think that's a good trade for 150. Think about that event earlier, right? They asked for 5 HP for 25 gold. And here I am being like, look at me, I can trade 7 for... Or it's actually, what, it's 6 and 8, so 14 for 150. That's still worth it, right? Because they wanted 25 HP for 150. Yeah, I'm going to take this. This is good money here. I don't need it right away because I'm going to that removal, but... Okay, well... With a start like this, I can actually just play top and win. The argument for bottom setup is if I had hit the Lady instead of the Horned Warrior on turn 1, right? But since I don't, this is just free. We don't play this. I'm going to kill Curse Fellow. Actually, this Hornbreak just annihilates that dude in front. I mean, we easily scale to the point of killing him, so I don't really care, but... It's hard to say no to that. That's so value. You could kill it, right? I may regret this, but I think it's correct to just end that dude. Because the curses will bog me down a lot. I do a reform here on Fade. I always want to put Lady in here. The interesting thing is, like, frankly, because of the way Lady works, I'm not worried if I don't reform Fade immediately, right? So I'm actually going to put the draft mid to catch Collector, and that's value to me, and just let 3 things go in the reform pool here, thanks to Lady. Cool. Cool. Frankly, that's okay with me. I'll just leave them in, and yeah, we hit the Hollow Drippings, so we're super fine. Yeah, we're super fine. And then I just kind of ping stuff off because there's no reason to leave it in. Cool. I take a curse. Oh well. Alright, we're fine. Just give me Fade in this turn, please. No fade. Sad. It's fine. I just leave them out. Missing that with the Remnant Pact is a little bit unfortunate, but truly it does not matter. Alright, I always get fade back here, which is excellent news. And then I just take 2 curses and get them out. Cool. Like, we're set. I'm not worried. Oh, great. She even gets killed. That's excellent. Awesome. We have enough hits to clear everything out, so it's cool. 1, 2, reform, fade, player top. And, I mean, this easy wins. We just play both curses. And we're good. Clean. The only damage I'm taking here is really from the spikes. Lady just free tanks it. So that was an absolutely free combat, which is excellent. I don't need the engulfed in smoke here. You know, it's good, right? Like, what you do is you reform fade, you engulfed in smoke, and then you play fade alone on the floor. It is just free turns, right? There's a lot of value in that. It gives my deck something to do. What am I going to next? I don't need the steel shop. There's no removals though, sadly. I think I'm just gonna go to the magic shop, maybe find a holdover. I'm gonna take this engulfed in smoke. It has value. It has a lot of value. And then I don't take any of these. Yeah. Yeah, don't want those. I want to keep my deck very thin. I'm gonna go left because the magic shop I might as well. Maybe I find another upgrade for my Horned Warrior before I dupe him. Cool, take HP. Show me something good in this cavern. Purge a card, gain a card. That's fine, right? Just purge a Train Steward. And then, I don't know. I'm going to look at Melting because they could show me, what is it, Hellhorned? Waxen Spike, huh? That's interesting, right? It's like, it's basically at 0 Ember, it's a crappier Hallowed Drippings. But it does take other Ember better. Like at 3 Ember, it's like, what, plus 12 to the floor. You know, it's very low impact. If this were Burnout X, like if the Burnout scaled with Ember cost, I'd be very excited about it. But the fact that it's not is like, I just want the removal here. I'll just take the gold. It's a great removal. Yeah, it's fine. Show me holdover. You know, if they show me just Eternal Stone and Stack Stone every time, that's it, I guess. I'm gonna take Engulfed in Smoke to 1. Plus 10 into Hornbreak is really strong. It's just value. I have the money to spare here. I don't know. Show me Permafrost. Fine. I could Permafrost the Remnant Pact or a Mold. Let me think for a moment. This is a relic. I am taking this relic. Yeah, let's look at it. Okay, well, I should have maybe looked at here first. The guild marker. It's fine. It's fine. Winged Indulgence is a bait. Enemies doing less damage can actually make her die less. So can hammer chest plates. We take guild marker. I maybe should have looked here first before rolling. Whatever. Still value now. I am gonna take a primitive mold to freeze. It's either that or the Remnant Pact, right? But if I do it on the mold, then I always have the mold ready, right? Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's fine. And then I'm just going to remove another Train Steward here, 'cause it's 70. I could remove 2. I could remove 2. Do I need my money for anything? I'm going to removals and Hellvent. No. I can remove 2. The only thing I need to really worry about is how do I deal with Stealth Boss here? It's low shards, only 55. 1 Train Steward's not going to do anything anyway. I basically am going to be relying on Horned Warrior having a lot of armor. I could use Endless to do some stuff. We'll see. If I get Stealth Boss, I think it's the scariest, but I don't super mind it. Took me right to 0, huh? That's cool. All the other ones are free, basically. Oh, I could use my own stealth, which helps a lot. Yeah, we have options. We move on. It is Stealth Boss because the game just has to do it to me. It's Harvesters as well. I should respect this combat. There's no relic they could show me that's worth this Heaven Seal, so we just keep it off. It's a really good turn 1, frankly. Huh. I need to think. Bottom floor is nice because it means in the worst possible case, I can reform the steelworker or give him endless. Endless on the steelworker? Does this actually clear this floor? So she gets... Fade gets killed. Lady kills the front line. 1 hit goes to mid guy, killing him. And 3 hits at plus 12, so 27. We don't kill that backline dude, actually. I need to draw cards here. I think there's the other case where if I go set a bottom, I have 2 more turns to worry about. I think I set up top and just accept this. And I think this is correct. I have the frozen mold because that was a terrible draw. Okay, so we have some good options here. I'm going to kill Fade, Hornbreak immediate value, and then reform Fade. I lose the Wicklash, but it's fine because Fade is basically a Wicklash at this point. Cool. I need to stack up armor here. I'm going to take the stealth right now, actually. Or do I want her to get hit? I have the Hallow Drippings, frankly. This is easy mode, right? I have the Hallow Drippings, so I just play this. I play the stealth. And then I play Fade. And we're fine. Yeah, she gets killed, but it makes them stronger in the back, so we're okay. Yep. This is strong. I now reform Fade and give her Endless, which is really good. Hey, neat. The Extinguish on the Shaman triggers a Revenge. That's fun. That is fun. I do take my Primitive Mold Freeze now. Thank you. Burnout 3. It's acceptable, right? I will Endless on Fade here. And I don't even need Burnout anymore, right? I'm gonna shoot one of these dudes in the middle down. I need to... Ooh, this big man is scary. I'm gonna kill something with this Hornbreak. I basically have to decide what's scarier, right? I'm doing... It's gonna be what, like... 58. These numbers get weird ever since they nerfed Fade. She's 12 on this floor, on this right now. So it's 58 and then 63 by 4. So with... Let's see, with 2 damage, I can have Lady kill this frontline dude, and then he does 63, 63, 63. I mean, we clear it. I think it's actually still just this. It makes it real easy. And I just pop 2 guys on the bottom floor, and we're okay. Yeah, this is very clean. And we just keep the Engulfed in Smoke going, and we play Fade. There's an argument to play Fade bottom and just drain some turns out with these dregs. Is that good? Maybe. Maybe it's good. I mean, she does die top if I want to go that route. I mean, it is HP, right? I know, it was just stack HP up top. This is good, right? Because she gives +5 health, which is excellent. So we're fine with that. Yeah, this is good scaling. This is good scaling. There is an argument for playing her bottom here, right? Because she dies in 2 hits. Yeah, it's actually, we're just going to respect the hell out of Stealth Boss. We're going to play her bottom, and we're going to put the Remnant Host behind. We're just going to pump some numbers into the Stealth Boss, right? Because this is 2 hits on Fade, and then a 3rd hit into these hosts. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. We have enough armor up top that I think we're fine, but... just Fade middle again, right? I can reform the tomb. I can put this tomb in the back, huh? What if I kill Fade here? Better? Interesting. Yeah, huh. Crazy. That takes more turns off. Cool. I mean, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. No fear. Thanks, lady. Very cool. You're just an HP bucket, and you make the burnout real nice, which is good. Love to see it. I could lean more into the Engulfed in Smokes here, which is not a bad call. It's not bad. I don't think I need it. It is just kind of like an answer card, and I don't need too many of those. Once I hit the endless, I just replay Fade every turn, and then all my molds are dead. I don't need to add cards here. You know, I don't need to add cards. I don't need a second one. We'll skip. We'll skip. I don't need any of these. Pyro Chomper, Battering Ram, Rage Serum. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Money is value. I go left here. Yeah, I go left here. And I take money. I take removals. Into what? Into what? I could remove Lady here, which I think I do. I dupe Horned Warrior always here? Yeah. This is a Horned Warrior dupe. Yeah, he's so crazy. And then I remove Lady at this stage. She did her job. And I think, frankly, I remove some of these other unplayable units right now. So, like, I think, what's worse? Draft technically slots into a floor a little better, but I'm never playing it, right? I'm going to kill this draft. Start removing units. I don't need to take that. I go 85 on the Relic on ring 7, and then I take literally any 15 from ring 8. I have Hornbreak with a slot open, so I can pretty much take whatever, and I have torches. We're fine. I always have something that takes magic power, so yeah. I think we set a bottom into Fel, and we're extremely comfortable here. Yeah, I don't see a world where this doesn't win. Wow. I'm just going to take this penance damage, right? Because this turn is insane right now. I accept 5 damage for this turn to be so insane. This just wins the whole combat. Yeah. Yeah, this just wins the whole combat, which is awesome news. I'm actually just going to dumpster this Remnant Host up mid, so it's out of the way. I can just end turn after I play Fade every turn, right? Okay, I shouldn't because the curses would be bad, but we're strong. We're very strong. That draw is nuts. I would take an intrinsic on that thing, right? We do Engulfed in Smoke first, and then Fade down. Yeah, this basically plays itself. We are out of control strong, and we have defense that scales now too, which is just awesome news. Take damage into Fel here, I guess. I don't know, ping her spell shield or something. Cool, right? Cool. I'll kill this Clip Marksman, I guess, because it saves 9 onto the man in middle. Yeah, I mean, we have enough defense here that this does not lose, and it plays itself. Aw, man, Fade. Well, I mean, Fel, rather. Double drew an ultimate penance. Had to get me on that one more time, huh? Fel just takes 570 here, so that's neat. That is a good start here. I mean, it's just wins at this point, right? Yeah, it gets there cleanly. Cool, alright, send it. Thanks, Fade. Very cool. That's so much damage, that's insane. Alright, cool. I don't want any of these cards. No Wickless Recruitment, Sacrificial Resurrection, or Dark Deal. I mean, my deck is basically complete. I just want to remove cards and play, like, I don't know, Engulfed in Smoke and Hornbreak every turn. Yeah. There's not much they could show me. Base, though, because I want the mid-floor on Divinity. What do I even take? Where do I go? Money is good. I just take removals, I guess. I'll take -1s, sure. There's like no relics that matter here. I mean, double extinguish, sure, but I could fish for it. I don't need this Merchant of Magic, right? It doesn't do anything for me. Why not? I'll fish for it. It's fine. I have the money. Oh, I saw the Infused Mallet. I'm just going to take Resin Block because if anything happens to die, it's better. Sure. I don't know what you got. Railhammer? Railhammer is insane. Sure. That's a good hit. That is a good hit for my time. Firelight 3. No surprises. Show me, I don't know, something in this cavern I care about. Yo, what? Minor refraction? It's busted. Oh my gosh. Yeah, alright. So, this is out of control. I now can instead of taking a 15 from the next one, I just dupe this steel worker infused into the Horned Warrior. That's one space, and that is out of control. Yeah, that's out of control. Thanks, Tiny Refraction. I'm glad I went to the right here. Jesus, I got a high roll out the wazoo. I do take this Horde. Ashes of the Fallen? Do I have any summon triggers? No. No. Day's top floor is just straight up bad. Well, I mean, think about it. I'm generating, what is it? 9, 9, 9, 27 armor. I could actually top floor Divinity with Light's Gift and just let the Divinity punch fade every turn. And if I remove enough cards to get the Endless, that's interesting, right? I never get run over that way. This is actually really strong. I'm going to take Light's Gift. This is really bad into Seraph, though. Well, I just don't set up top on Seraph, huh? I set up mid, and then I don't need it. Light's Gift only for the Divinity tech? Yeah, okay. Remember not to screw myself on that in whatever the next combat is, right? In this one, yeah. We take the aggressive amulet because I'm so out of control strong. I have to let Fade die once. There's ways I can do this on top floor, but it doesn't really matter. I have Railhammer. Yeah, we're so strong. I can take this here. Now, at this point of the game just rushes, right? Like, it's the turn 1 on Fade with... Yeah. I mean, this is crazy, right? I'm going to play mid here, though, because I want this Fade to get the... She doesn't get burnout, because I can't kill her. So we do Fade mid, play the little man, and then Endless on this. I'm going to have to slam her with a Hornbreak, but that's okay. Oh, she dies actually, right? Because of the plus 14s. That's great news, right? Yeah, that's great. I can fit another unit on this floor, huh? Interesting. Jesus, 33 by 2. I'm just going to kill that thing, huh? Yeah. We're just going to kill that and be happy with it. This actually clears the floor, which is awesome. I do lose my next turn, but it doesn't matter because Fade's free. Oh, I don't lose it, actually. Engulfed in Smoke. Fade. Big scaling. Big scaling. This is good for a lot of reasons. Wicklash in the back. Kill the guy in the middle here because I should. And I'll kill the dude in the middle. It doesn't matter. I only need one unit to hit. Right, yeah. This is actually free. I just kill one of these dudes because I don't want to deal with all that HP. Sure. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I will save the Ember Drain here, which is excellent news. Play Fade. Put a Burnout on the middle guy here. I'm basically just circling around until I hit that Hollow Drippings, and then in the rest of the combat is free. Fade has 55 HP just from... I can actually just kill her myself, huh? Awesome. Thanks, Torch. Very cool. That's why I don't want to remove those, right? Yeah, Hollow Drippings here. Fade in. Win. Easy combat. Killed it in 2 rounds. Seems good. Seems good. Thanks for 400 gold. I don't need any of these cards. Subsuming Blade, there's an argument for it, but no. Just skip it. And then nothing out of this Hellhorn pack matters. Yep. Skip it. We go to the dupe here, wherever it is. Sure. Seems good. And then I dupe small Steelworker infused Horned Warrior. Get the 100 exactly. I don't know. Hey, Fade's First Blade's pretty good, right? Why not? I mean, it doesn't represent a lot of rage, but it does add damage for even sillier numbers, and I don't really care about anything else, so... Well, I could make it so it doesn't decay either. Why not? I'm not clicking Cheater's Hand because I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to take Collection of Tales because that's fun. And then I guess just -1 into stuff that I don't want to worry about. I'm going to double stack this Engulfed in Smoke, I think. Because what else am I doing here? Yeah, I'm just going to remove card now. I'm going to remove this Giraffe at this point. Yep. I guess I'll re-roll. I don't know what they show me. Holdover I can't buy. That's funny. I'm going to plus 20 and consume a torch here. That's good. I'll take the -1 in the Remnant or Ricklash, I guess. Yeah, let's see. In the worst case, I get Ember Drained on a random floor. I want to be able to play the Remnant Pact. I don't really care about Wicklash, so I'll put -1 into Wicklash here. And I mean, in the Tomb. The Tome. Language is hard, yo. It doesn't matter. 100 out of 100, make sure I'm not dying. Yeah, cool. We just send it on this. This is perfect. This is an easy win. This is just Firelight for you, frankly. There's not much to it. We do top floor, or I could, frankly, still do mid. Nah, we do top. There's no reason to do mid here. Or no, wait, hold up. I need Fade to die, right? I need Fade to die. So mid is potentially better. Wow, this is tough, right? I could kill her myself here, right? I could kill her myself here. I have the torch. I think it's top, actually. Interesting, right? I don't think it super matters, right? I could set up even bottom floor at this point and still just win. The only thing is, like, there's a world where these steelworkers get I keep calling them steelworkers, these horned warriors get run over by Shade Wings because I have no backline. So I think it is top, honestly. And I just kill Fade on my own. Yeah. Yeah, frankly, I think that's correct. And then we reform her here. Yeah, interesting. I do play Big Man. I can never get this Engulfed in Smoke out. It doesn't matter. I am going to play Wicklash on the back dude here. I have 2 Ember to work with? Yeah, okay. He lives, great. I play Big Man on campus here. And then Fade in front. Or we'll Fade first because she burns out. I'm going to have to kill her more than I'd like here because enemies are dazed, and I have not hit Endless Tomb. Jesus, okay. So it's fine because I do have Hornbreak here, which is excellent news. With enough kills, once I hit the Hollow Drippings, this becomes much easier, right? I'm gonna hold on to this torch. It's a good kill for Fade. Right? It's a good kill for Fade. I could reform her on this turn. It doesn't matter. I'm going to hold on to some stuff. I could actually put the Remnant Host in rotation, right? Just make it a vessel for stats. Why not, right? I have the space. Sure. Get in there, bud. Here, have 27 armor for some reason. Cool. Alright, we have a clean turn. Fade goes down. She gets Endless. I don't really care that I'm going to extend her burnout because I'm just going to kill her with Hornbreak here. Yep. Cool. We're strong. I think this is clean at this point. Now I just play Hornbreak whenever it shows up. On her. Very nice. Putting in a casual 740 into Seraph. I'm not even looking at what enemies are coming up, by the way. That's how strong we are. Fade goes down. I get the torch that I saved to bring her back. Look at that strength. I'm going to put this one in the middle guy to give him some extra oomph. I just put his tomb on the floor because why the hell not? And it's just getting 27 armor a turn because it doesn't matter. I'm going to draw into a Hornbreak, so frankly, just I'm going to put some stealth up because it's funny. Oh, I guess that's just another casual 1000 into Seraph there. That seems good, right? We kill Fade here because reasons. 15 burnout is plenty. I... Yep. Yep. There's not much to say here. At this point, I reasoned through the only challenge, which was what floor do I play, and at this point, it's just free. It's just free. I'm going to play the stealth just to kind of BM Seraph here. Man, Seraph does not even kill Fade. He doesn't even get a swing in. Yeah, I think we're strong. This is what I'm talking about, right? You know, you have Fade, who just needs... All you need in this setup is a ton of attacks, right? And I have 3 Horned Warriors, each with 4 hits. And I even rolled the right floor 1 here, right? Like, wow. Frankly, top floor setup is fine in Divinity, right? Because he always sweeps. Yeah. And I have HP and Railhammer, so this is just free. Yeah, they actually gain here, which is crazy. I'm just going to punch one of these dudes into oblivion here. On the bottom floor. Yep. Alright, Endless on this turn is just easy clap. I don't see it. It's fine. I still don't mind. I play this. I play Big Man. It's cool. Cool. Endless, please? Hey, Endless. Except I don't see Reform. Wow. It figures, right? It figures. It's cool. I have the Hollow Drippings at least, which makes this basically okay. We're cool with this. I don't love it, but we're cool with it. Yeah, we do 440 into the Divinity here, which is just great news. It's going to slow down a little bit. The Rage helps on turns where I don't have Fade, though, which is nice. You know, actually, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to end turn until I see the Endless Tomb, and then I'm going to use this Reform that I froze to bring back Fade. And that's it. That's all we're doing. I'm going to pop... Here, I'm going to pop this Harvest Floor a little bit because it's potentially spooky. And get it down to 3 units, which is much more manageable. Thanks, Hollow Drippings. Very cool. Alright, we get the turn that we want, which is Burnout 2 Fade. This means I kill her with just a normal torch, because the Divinity exists, so that's good. I do this. I do this. And I put 2 damage into her, and she dies, which is excellent news. Alright, we win. Cool. Thanks, Divinity. Very neat. You know, Fade's First Blade is doing fine here, I think, frankly. Right? I'm gonna do this Engulfed in Smoke because it's fun. And remember, 1 torch is enough to get her killed. How much are we doing in the Divinity? It's another casual 600. I don't have to think, right? This is not a difficult line to win. Another 700 into the boss. Sure, why not? Eventually, we're just gonna kill him out of Relentless. Oh, fun! Because of spikes, we get a kill here, right? Because she hits into spikes and then gets swept. Ah, so I don't have to do anything funny here. Neat. I might kill it on the next turn. Frankly, I kill this unit in the back on the mini bosses floor. Yeah, because I put more hits into the Divinity at that point. I'm basically just looking for a pre-relentless kill at this point. Do I get it? I get it. I absolutely get it. In what world do I not? We are out of control. We win. All right, neat. Thanks, Divinity. Very cool. So, yeah, you can kind of see what I mean. How little thought I had to put into that combat, right? It just breezed through. I didn't look at what was coming. I didn't look at what waves generated. None of it mattered. And it wasn't even like a high roll, right? Like, it was good, but there's like 100 different ways that looks good with Firelight. You're just looking for big hit. All right, let's hit the run summary and get through this. I have a few things to say, but not too much, frankly. Cool. Little Fade, nuts. The Gurg's Goad was helpful. It meant I could actually take a reasonable Hellhorned unit and turn it into something monstrous, which, you know, Horned Warrior is a great choice. I could have done branded warrior, frankly, and it would have been fine. I think it wins, especially with the fact that I hit multi-strike on it. It's great, right? It doesn't matter. The fact that I also got a minor refraction on this thing in this run is kind of silly. Like the rail hammer was silly. I didn't need any of the rail hammer, right? Because basically nothing ever got hit. It didn't matter. They had 30 life, whatever. The important things, really the conversation and the challenge with Fade is all of that talk and conversation. The entire length of this video, right? It's only an hour and 20, which is good for me. But almost all of that was before, what was it, ring 4, right? Making sure I don't aggro too hard and kill myself before Daedalus, right? And there was a chance I did, right? But especially ring 1 was risky. Taking that trial was kind of a gamble, but it paid off because that money went into a very strong Horned Warrior. I don't actually remember what I bought when, but it was important money. The other important things, the early drafts, things like Wicklash and Hallow Drippings are very critical. You know, I got to give Lady of the Reformed a lot of credit here. She showed up at Daedalus, and I just basically said, yeah, that solves my problems through rings 4 and 5. She did a great job, and then I just kicked her from the run. And frankly, that's the thing you see more often in the DLC, that kind of like immediate value take, and then you just remove the thing later when you no longer need it. So once I got to the ring 6 dupe, right, that was right before Fell. That was when I no longer needed it because I was stacking so much armor that it didn't matter. Hornbreak, honestly, the start is awesome. I love Hornbreak, such a good card. I froze a primitive mold, which was fun. It let me do some funny shenanigans on the Divinity that I didn't need to, but I did anyway. It was useful. You saw it actually paid off in, I don't remember the combat, but there was one combat where I just had a bad draw and it saved me. So it values. Engulfed in Smoke's a really good card in this setup, right? Because you can just safely protect your kill floor while letting Fate explode. Torch is an awesome starter. Also, things like Fracture or Echo Break or anything that lets you kill your own units is just really good with Fade. You'll love it. And then Remnant Pact, of course, simplified the run. I no longer needed to find holdover on any of my reforms or thin that hard because I just got her back every turn anyway. Everything else was kind of just gravy. Like Resin Block didn't matter, Railhammer didn't matter, Light's Gift was fun, but frankly it didn't matter because I had the Engulfed in Smoke. Fate's First Blade didn't matter, but I took it because it was fun and I don't know, it contributed some damage on that Divinity to get me that kill a turn early. Collection of Tales, same thing. These last like 5 relics just did not matter, but you buy them because they put you a little bit ahead, and you may as well take every edge you can get, right? So honestly, this run's crazy, and it's a good example of what is so strong about Little Fade. Once you get to a point where you know what you're doing and you play correctly and you draft correctly, you just win, right? And you don't have to think that hard. You just win. So yeah, that's pretty much all you got to know about Fade. I think that this is very indicative of what you can expect with most Fade runs. Obviously, a good combo, good setup for it, good rolls. Like nothing too insane, but just good stuff all around. So I didn't need the third Horned Warrior. That was just kind of me flexing at that point when they showed me the small hit, right? The minor refraction. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, as always, thanks a lot for watching this. I do really appreciate your time, especially if you get this far in the episode. It's super cool of you to watch it all the way through. As always, give the video a like or a dislike if you want. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and stay tuned for what's next. Take care, folks.